Doesn't matter how many times I see that clip, I always laugh. Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen.
Money talks, dirty cash, I want you, dirty cash, I need you. Money talks, dirty cash, I need you.
You might want to give that a wipe or something first, give it a blow before you sit down. There's some dust on there or something. There you go, Nick.
I've got jeans on, but some of the girls have got skirts.
We've been making a bit of that. OK, sit yourself down. Mr. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you back here. I love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations to all that. Nick's been on the show before, and since you were on last time, you've got married.
I did get married, yeah.
Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I've got to say that it was... a lot of people said, oh, you'll never remember it. You'll never remember the day. It goes so quick. But it was amazing, and I remembered it all. And it was... I mean, I'm quite a dour, miserable man, generally, and it was probably the greatest day of my life. It was amazing.
Well, how lovely. And there you are with your wife, Christine. OK, there, that's... but now
She's fit.
But you... yeah.
She's with me.
You'd been together for a while before...
We have. We've been together for about 8 years.
So what prompted the decision, then, to get married?
It was time. I'd asked her to marry me twice, and she kind of said...
No,
yeah,
I suppose.
but wasn't sure.
So she said yes, but...
But then we never got married.
But hold it, how do you deal with that? If you say to someone, I want to get married, and they say...
You drink a lot.
Yeah, but...
You go on long walks, and,
But you stuck with her?
I did, absolutely.
Because many people, I think...
Well, I think she stuck with me, more importantly.
Yeah.
But it got to, like, February the 16th. I knew February the 29th was coming up, so I said to her, this is it. If you don't ask me, then we're done. So she kind of came in from work and just said, do you want to get married then or what? And I said, no, you have to do it properly. I want to be wooed. So she got down on one knee and asked me. And I said, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have left if she hadn't have asked you, would you?
Oh, yeah, shit, I'd be out of there.
Now, Nick, you've got a big career going on now. I couldn't be happier for you. I mean, the Shaun of the Dead and Hot Files and, of course, Space were great, and then you've gone on, you're in The Boat That Rocked.
Yeah.
You've got Money coming up as well now. You're also... we can talk about the Spielberg thing.
Absolutely, I think so.
Nick's in Tintin, the big Steven Spielberg-directed Tintin movie. Is that this year or next year that's coming out?
I think it's out next year.
Next year.
But it was amazing. It was amazing to do. It was terrifying because he's like a massive hero of mine. And, you know, just to be on set every day with Steven Spielberg.
It's incredible. The first time you met him, it must have been not an awkward moment, but a kind of a scary moment for you.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
And did he put you at your ease? Did he come
I tell you what, he is... From, you know, the month that we spent together with Simon and everyone else doing the film, he was just the nicest man. You know, he was... he loved to work. He loved to be on set, holding the camera, and if you did a good take, he'd run on and punch the air and say, that was great, that was great, that's in the movie.
And if you did a bad take, how would he respond then?
You would be murdered. Have you murdered?
You're playing one of the Thompson twins, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
But you're not... It's kind of animated, isn't it? It's not... But it's not animation...
I think it's an Avatar kind of vibe.
Right, all right. So you are kind of... Were you moving around with sort of like...
Yeah,
on your face?
We had like a big camera here, and there were like 300 cameras in the ceiling, and lots of cameras, and we had those lovely suits on. Wow. Which... They're not flattering. It's not a flattering look for a big man.
You're wearing that, you expect someone to shout, bring on the wall, don't you? Yeah.
yeah. But Daniel Craig is in it too, and he looks amazing in his suit. I mean, I think he has like a bespoke Gives and Hawkes motion capture suit on, and then as I stood next to him, I looked like a dinosaur egg, or like a man dressed as a Christmas pudding.
Hey, now, don't take this the wrong way, but in a way, I think it'd be fair to say you kind of stumbled into this. Am I right?
I did, absolutely.
Is that fair to say that?
Yeah.
You didn't really plan on being an actor?
No, not at all. It was... you know, I hate when actors say, oh, I'm essentially quite a shy person, but I was quite a shy person. I was a waiter, and I was happy being a waiter. I was a very good waiter. And, you know, just happened upon Simon one day, and...
And you were waiting his table?
His girlfriend was a waitress at the time, and then I met him through her, and she split, and then we got one another in the settlement, which was great.
Let me ask you about money, because money's coming to the BBC. This was a big book in the 80s. I mean, most people I know read it in the 80s. I read it and loved it in the 80s. And at the time, I thought someone's got to make this into a TV series, a film, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it now. And this is part of an 80s series.
It is, yeah. I think there's a show about Culture Club and another show about the royal wedding.
They like doing that, like making a kind of an event out of it. Like
Yeah.
that. OK, so for you, going back to the 80s, were you fond of that period? Do you remember that period fondly? I guess you were pretty young back then.
Well, I was 10 in 82.
So you weren't driving, you weren't... Maybe you were smoking a little bit, but not a lot.
I was driving and smoking at 10. I'm from Essex. Essex.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not a person who looks back fondly at things. For me, that's something that television producers do to make us think, oh, wasn't that good? Weren't the 80s good?
Yeah.
But if there was no such thing as television, we wouldn't sit around thinking, 30 years ago was good, wasn't it? It's just a way to make television. I'm shooting myself in the foot because I've obviously made a piece of 80s television, but you know what I mean?
But everyone's admiring your honesty and now thinking maybe I'll watch that just to see whether he's right and the 80s weren't anywhere near as good as they're
Well, I think, you know, time's gone by, they're always romanticised because that's the way we should look at them. But Spangles were nice, weren't they? But Spangles weren't nice. Spangles were awful. Now we live in a world where there's Kit Kat senses. You know, that was the stuff of a madman's dream in 1982.
We've got so much more than we know what to do with. Yeah, why would we be looking back?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Nick Frost in Money. This is on next weekend on the BBC. It's a lovely scene. So this is in 2 parts?
It is, yeah. I think it's on, like, a Sunday and then on a Wednesday. They were going to put it consecutively, but England are playing a friendly on the Monday, so we've been moved.
But you've got another thing lined up with Mr. Pegg. You've been writing...
Yeah.
What's Paul?
No, we've shot it. It's
You've
done.
filmed it already?
It's coming out next year.
What is it?
It's called Paul, and it's a story of 2 comic book geeks who go to America on a road trip, and while they're there, they witness a car crash. They get out to help, and inside is an alien.
Fantastic.
A proper alien.
You mean a space alien or an illegal immigrant?
No, I mean
A space...
an illegal immigrant.
Because these days...
a space alien.
That's a hot issue these days.
It is a hot issue.
So it's a proper alien. Is the alien alive? Would that be spoiling if you told us that or not?
He's alive and kicking, yeah.
So don't spoil us for...
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. And then the 3 of them go on a road trip.
That's fantastic.
So it's like Little Miss Sunshine, but with an alien.
It sounds like... Now, after the event, it sounds like the most obvious idea in the world. You can't believe no one did this before.
I know.
Do you believe in aliens?
I think the universe is probably big enough that there are other things there, but I'm with Hawking that I think we should probably be a bit quiet.
If they came knocking, you think they'd be after something? They wouldn't be coming as famous?
No, I think they would drain us of our fluid.
Not necessarily.
No, not in a good way.
Wouldn't you love to meet... But wouldn't it be nice to meet... Before you leave, not leave the show, leave the planet, would you like to meet an alien? Would you go to space? If you could go on, like Virgin have got flights now, would you go out to space?
No.
Why not?
I think it would be terrifying.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be fun as well?
No. I think it would be expensive and terrifying.
It might be expensive and terrifying, but if you could afford it and you weren't a baby, would you like to go to space?
The thing is, but it's not... I think people think, oh, I'm going to go into space, it's going to be amazing, but I think you just kind of go into the atmosphere a bit and then come down. I think if I was going to Mercury, I think I'd probably get into it over the...
Mercury's too hot. You don't want to go to Mercury. This time of year, it's terrible.
I'll go the other way.
Hey, Nick, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I'm so pleased for you, and I'm so thrilled that it's all going so well for you, because I think you're great on screen, and be working with Spielberg and still working with Pegg. What a great thing.
Just working hard. I'm writing a film at the moment about a British wrestler, and
I know, I like the sound
we'll be
of
making that next year as well.
Because you've got a good build for wrestling.
I do have a good build.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to take you on in the ring.
I'd like it. I'd like a little grapple. We're going to play tennis, right?
We are going to play tennis, and afterwards we'll wrestle in front of the fire.
All right, just get... and then we can go into space.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Frost. Thank you. Nick Frost, ladies and gentlemen.